AA Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Bobby Swift will start at pole position with Denny Carlin to his outside. Row 2 has the Gasworth Haas Racing cars, Tony Gasworth and Ryan Newcar. Row 3 has Kevin Carvick and Lightning McQueen, the current points leader. Row 4 has Jeff Corvette and Kyle Bushtire, the mean yellow car. Row 5 has Cal Weathers, the nephew of the King, and Brick Yardley, who's outside. Row 6 has Carl Edwards and Jimmy Cables, who's somehow in the top 10 in points. Row 7 has Mark Carton and Dale Earnhardt Jr., son of Dale Earnhardt. Row 8 has Murray Clutchburn, the 1989 Piston Cup champion, and Kurt Bushtire to his outside. Row 9 has Greg Beeple and Phil Tankson to his outside. Row 10 has Juan Pablo Montoya and Martin Carrix Jr., who won the second division at some point. Row 11 has Jeff Burnton and Casey Corner to his outside. Row 12 has Joey Logierno, who was a rookie last season, and Brick Hicks to his outside. Row 13 is Matt Karzeth, the 2003 Piston Cup champion, and Mike Yankee Jr. Row 14 has Todd Marcus and Brad Keselowski, who won one race last season. Row 15 is Clint Bokar and Rex Revler to his outside. Row 16 is Brian Vickers, who has won one race, and Speedy Comet to his outside. Row 17 is Jiggy Macari and Webb Meeker, who got a top 5 in his very first race. Row 18 is Ernie Gearson, who last won a race in 2005, and Jack DePost. Row 19 is T.G. Castlenut and David Rudikar, who DNQ'd one race this season. Row 20 is Chip Gearings and William Crashton, making his first start in 24 starts. Row 21 has Floyd Mulvihill and A.J. Carmendinger to his outside, and starting in 43rd is Lane Locke, who has not started a race since 2009. And these 9 cars, among many others, failed to qualify for this race. Now, let's begin the race. Bobby Swift would lead for the first lap, but he'd lose the lead very soon to Denny Carlin, who would lead all the way until lap 3 before he'd lose the lead to Lightning McQueen, who would lead for 37 laps before Brick Yardley would take the lead from him. He'd lead until lap 45, but unfortunately, William Crashton would be out on lap 43 because of engine failure. Lightning McQueen would retake the lead on lap 45, leading all the way until lap 81, where Todd Marcus would accidentally wreck himself, A.J. Carmendinger, and Joey Logierno on lap 81. Joey's teammate Denny Carlin would take the lead after the restart, leading all the way until lap 107, where Cal Weathers would take the lead from him. He'd lead for 11 laps before Kyle Bushtire would take the lead from him, leading for 36 laps before Cal Weathers would retake the lead, leading all the way until lap 176. That very same lap, Chip Gearings would be out because of an engine failure. Floyd Mulvihill would take the lead after the restart, leading for 10 laps, but then Carl Edwards would take the lead from him. He'd lead until lap 193, where Lightning McQueen would retake the lead. He'd lead all the way until lap 218, where Jimmy Cables would take the lead from him. He'd lead all the way until lap 260, before Kyle Bushtire would take the lead from himself, leading for 11 laps, but then Lightning McQueen would be back in the lead, leading until lap 308. Unfortunately, Ernie Gearson would be out on lap 300 because of fatigue. Dale Earnhardt Jr. would take the lead on lap 308, leading until lap 314, but unfortunately, Kyle Bushtire would be 5th as of lap 314, where he wrecks Dale Earnhardt Jr., Cal Weathers, and Jeff Corvette. Why? Jimmy Cables would take the lead after the restart, leading until lap 332, where Tony Gasworth would take the lead from him. He'd lead until lap 336, where Lightning McQueen would take the lead from him, leading all the way until lap 373, where Floyd Mulvihill would take the lead from him, leading for 7 laps before Brad Keselowski would take the lead from him, leading until lap 384, where Lightning McQueen would retake the lead. He'd lead for 11 laps, but unfortunately, Lane Locke would be out on lap 389 because of a cut tire. Kyle Bushtire would take the lead on lap 395, leading until lap 402, where Phil Tankson is second as of that lap, where he wrecks Kyle Busch Tire. Hooray! And Phil Tankson has this to say because he got revenge on the mean yellow car. Lightning McQueen would take the lead after the restart, leading all the way until lap 427, where Mike Yankee Jr. would take the lead from him, leading all the way until lap 433, where Lightning McQueen would retake the lead. He'd lead for 23 laps before Floyd Mulvihill would retake the lead, leading for 20 laps before Lightning McQueen would retake the lead with 4 laps to go, lead the final 4 laps, and then win the 2010 by and large 500. Kevin Harvick would finish second this race, Bobby Swift third, Floyd Mulvihill fourth, and Jimmy Cables rounding out the top 5. And here is the top 20 of the race, with Mike Yankee Jr. finishing 6th, and Jamie McCarry finishing 10th, with Speedy Comet only barely missing out on finishing in the top 10. And here is the rest of the standings, with Denny Carlin finishing 21st, behind the top 20. Murray Clutchburn is the last car to finish on the lead lap, finishing 32nd, but he was nowhere near getting lapped. And here is the top 20 in points, with Cal Weathers falling back to 5th, and Matt Karzith falling down to 8th. And he's still not led a single lap yet this season.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
How does Lightning McQueen already have a 200-point gap between him and Kevin Harvick? It's only been 7 races. That's less than a quarter of the 2010 Piston Cup season. How does any car lead by over 200 points with only 7 races ran? And also, Matt Karzith is still yet to lead a lap, despite the fact he's consistently in the top 10 in points. Comment if you think Matt Karzith will lead a single lap in the 2010 Piston Cup season. The 8th race of the 2010 Piston Cup season should be coming out very soon. What should be happening very soon is the end of the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. And until Vladimir Putin the tyrant pulls Russian troops out of Ukraine, we must continue to stand with Ukraine, as the Ukrainians deserve to live in peace and have freedom. Vladimir Putin the tyrant, there is no room for your tyranny inside Ukraine. Slava Ukraini! Heroyam Slava!